Most beginners use the rotate tool to turn objects, but professionals use it to copy, to pattern and to build faster. And in this video I'll show you how to use the rotate tool the right way, including copying objects, creating circular patterns in seconds. So let's get started. So the next thing we're going to look at is how to create a copy with the rotate tool. If I select the object I want to create a copy of, which is the stool, take the rotate tool, which is here on the left. As a pivot point, I'm going to choose the center of the table. That's my first point. Then I'm going to draw it out here for my second point. And when I press Control, I created a copy, and now it's just to place it out. I can place it at 90 degrees, or while it's still active I can type 45, so it's only 45 degrees, or 80 degrees, enter, but we'll stick with 90. And so now you see that instead of moving the original object, SketchUp has created a copy of it. Well, SketchUp can also create multiple copies of with the rotate tool. So if I select the chair, same procedure as before, take the rotate tool. Again, I'm going to use the center of the table as my first point. I'm going to click here with my second point. Press Control to create a copy. And how many copies would I like to have? Well, I can say place it there, and I want to have times by 3. So I get 3 copies. So after creating one copy, you simply type the number of copies that you want in the end, and SketchUp instantly creates multiple copies around the circle. So let's make a real world example of this. If we just delete the chairs, we can 3D model a simple chair from scratch. I'm going to take maybe do the legs first. So I'll take the rectangle tool, click on my rectangle, and I want to have it 50 millimeters, semicolon 50 millimeters, enter. Then give it a height with push-pull. We can take it up to 450 millimeters and enter. Right click, I'm going to make a component of this. Chair leg, and OK. Take the move tool, click Control, press Control on the keyboard, and then create a copy, maybe 400 millimeters apart. Select the other leg as well, move tool, Control to create a copy, and also 450, something like that. Now is to create the seat, also with a rectangle. So I click on the top of the leg, and on the diagonal, push pull to create the thickness. Double click this, or triple click this, right click and make group. Now for the backrest, I'm going to use the rectangle tool, like this, push pull, give it a thickness or a height like this. Now I'm going to select the whole tool and the legs, right click and make group. Extremely important in SketchUp to make groups all the time of everything that you're modeling, so the geometry doesn't stick together. I'm just going to center this slightly more, like so. Move it into the table. So to create multiple copies, you select the object you'd like to create the copy of, take the rotate tool. I use the center of the table as my first point, my pivot point. Straight out for the second point. Press Control. Click out 90 degrees, enter, and then times by 3. And now we get multiple copies with the rotate tool. And so in just a few seconds we've created a full circular layout for the table and chairs. Another way we can use the rotate tool is to lock the actual rotational axis. So if I delete these, create a box, push pull, triple click, make a group. So if I want to rotate this around this axis here down at the bottom, take the rotate tool, and I can see the rotate tool is automatically looking for different surfaces. It's found this side, now it's found this side, so it changes color. If I was going to do it this way, it's going to rotate around the red axis. If I click this way, it's going to rotate around the green axis. If I want it to rotate around the red axis, then I just press the right arrow key, and that locks it, that locks the rotational axis. So now it's just to choose a pivot point, one click here, one click here, and then I can move it around the red axis, maybe 90 degrees. So if I want to rotate around the green axis, then it's just to take the left arrow on the keyboard, choose the pivot point, which is here. So it's extremely important to choose the right pivot point, or you're going to get a strange result if you don't choose the right one from the very beginning. So that was the first point, here's the second point, and now it's rotating around the green axis. Can no, we do 45 degrees. And you see, if I want to rotate it back, it's jumping around, it's finding different surfaces, but if we just choose the left arrow, now it's locked in place. Even if I place the rotate tool here, it still stays in the same axis position. So first point, second point, I move it back 45 degrees. So this just makes the rotation much more precise. So when we rotated the chair around the table and created the copies, I said I always use the center of the table as the pivot point. But how do we know where to find the center point of an object? Well, if I delete this and we draw a circle, any size, it don't matter. So now I've still got the circle tool active. So if I want to find the center, or I just hold it on an end point, you see it's found an end point on a circle. Now the center point has been displayed in the middle. So it's just to click the center and draw a new circle. Even if I don't do it where the axes meet each other, I can draw my circle here, hold it on an end point so it shows up again, and then it's just a click, it snaps to the right point. So just wait till the text shows up center, as you can see that. Draw my second circle. Also works as well if you get the line tool, hold it on an end point, you can see where the center point is. So click it there, and now I can draw a line from the center of the circle. Can be a bit tricky in the beginning, but once you get used to it, it's no problem at all. And a common beginner mistake when using the rotate tool is by not grouping objects. So if I just make this and it's not grouped, I say, right, I want to rotate my box here. I'm going to use this point as my pivot point, point number 2. Then I completely ruin my geometry because it's not a group, it's just loose geometry. This happens a lot in SketchUp if you do not group your objects, so it's extremely important to get used to it from the very beginning. So just to recap, the rotate tool, if I draw a circle and I want to rotate something around it and create copies, I select the object I want to make the copy of, take the rotate tool, just hover over the end point until the center point shows up, click once and then click twice, press Control, and now I can click here and say times by 5. I want 5 copies, or times by 8. No, times by 7. There. Create multiple copies around the circle. Simple when you know how to do it. So thanks for watching, and if this video helped you at all, this tutorial, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give the video a like, and I'll see you next time for more tips and tricks in SketchUp.